And today commemorates the UN General Assembly Day for Attention on Zero Tolerance for Female Genital Mutilation. This is with the aim of amplifying direct efforts towards eliminating this practice. Female genital mutilation is a human rights violation that infringes on the fundamental right of girls and women. The injury of female genitalia for non-medical reasons can have short-term to lifelong health impact on physical, mental, sexual and reproductive years of women and girls into old age. The United Nations says over 230 million girls and women who have been subjected to this practice require access to appropriate care and services. The world body says an estimated 22.7 million more girls are at risk of undergoing female genital mutilation by the year 2030. And I'm joined for this conversation by survivor and anti-FGM advocate, Melanie Ishola. It's good to have you join us on the news at 1. You're both a survivor of female genital mutilation and a leading advocate against this practice. Let's start with your own experience, your personal experience on how this has shaped and influenced your decision to speak up about this publicly.
Thank you so much. And I guess my thank you also should go to Television Continental, which has been also a leading platform in ensuring that my voice continually gets heard. Today, I made a post to my WhatsApp community, and I recall saying to them that I needed their help because it was my birthday. And quite a number of people have been saying, congratulations, Melanie, happy birthday to you, Melanie. But then I say to them, no. When I was given birth to by my mother, but it is my birthday as per when I realized, or why I realized that I was mutilated. It was in the course of doing my job back in the studios of Women Radio as a journalist back in 2019 that I'd interviewed some advocates from Sewin, where they had reeled out some data that got me quite interested. When I began to investigate female genital mutilation, I didn't even know that I was mutilated. In the course of that, I found that I equally didn't have certain organs meant for certain purposes in my external genitalia. And so, of course, it made it quite easy for me to say, if quote unquote, as we say, a journalist knows a bit of everything. If quote unquote, as I thought I knew, I still didn't know that. Then quite frankly, many people didn't know. And again, because you realize that the practice is shrouded in secrecy and there is a lot of silence associated with it. Shame, if you want to add. A lot of people do not even want to come to the fact of the realization of what was done to them. But I'm grateful for the ability to be able to speak up, because I understand that in so doing, I'm helping the next generation of girls from being caught. If it's just a girl at a time, I think my voice is counting for something.
I mean, it's a discovery for you. You're saying that at a point you did not know that you have this. It's also possible that many other persons are experiencing this at this time, but there's been growing awareness and also, misconceptions about how FGM persists. From your own experience, what are some of the most common myths surrounding these practices? And what are the realities people really need to understand about this?
Thank you. And quite frankly, again, because you realize that this is a social cultural practice, it's seemingly how a people have been programmed, and you do realize that the culture of silence in that case then affects the girl child more than it does the boy child, in which case our reorientation or orientation from childhood already predisposes us as girls to, let's even start with something like sit right. A girl sits with legs crossed, you don't open your laps, and all of these things. For the myths that I'm given, and they are quite intertwined with the orientation and engineering that I'm speaking to, you're told that a girl or a woman who is unmutilated is going to be promiscuous. What does this mean? The core reason for cutting a girl, mutilating a girl, is control. You want a society that is ridding of sexual immorality. And then you say to yourself, let's cut the actual organ of sexual pleasure in the woman, in the girl. And then let us make our society free of promiscuity. But then again, jokes on that culture, because neither has the society been rid of promiscuity from time immemorial, right? However, they also say to you, a woman that is not cut is not able to have her child without undergoing cesarean section. You also realize that this is nothing but a lie. In fact, the reverse would be true, as proven by science. Another reason, I'm told, this one is quite preposterous. It's more like going from weirdest, is that it is a taboo for the clitoris, that particular organ in the woman or the girl that is targeted in the case of female genital mutilation or cutting. And so it is a taboo, I'm told, for this organ, the clitoris, to compete with the penis during sexual intercourse. That's, for me, that's preposterous. And these are just a few of the myths or reasons I'm told when I went to the field investigating female genital mutilation in 2020 in preparation to produce a film, Don't Cut Her, that got released in 2021. So the reasons also differ from culture to culture, but then at the core of it, at the base of it, is the need to control the girl's sexuality.
Well, there's another widespread belief that I'd like you to, shed more light on. Women's sexual pleasure in this case. There's the myth that women eliminate, the female genital mutilation eliminates women's experience of sexual pleasure. Talk to us quickly about how accurate this belief is, and how does it really affect the psychology of those who have undergone this?
Thank you so much. A very brilliant question that would be. And frankly, one that speaks to the reason why I've continued to speak up. Okay, there are several consequences of being cut as a girl, from first and foremost, dying on the bed of being cut. That's apparent death. Children, girls, they bleed, and maybe immediately after, days after or whatever, they die. Infections and whatnot, which seem like things you can literally lay your hands on. But this arena that you speak of takes me to the psychological aspect of the whole conversation. In which case, if a child is even old enough to know of the cutting, the child already goes with this horrific memory all through her life. However, for somebody like me who was unaware at the time that I was cut, I found out 5 or 6 years into my marriage, and it did a thing. I recall telling my husband that I had called my mother in the course of my investigation, putting the documentary together. And I said, do you realize that I called my mom today? And she confirmed that I was cut as a child. And my husband's question to me that night, I will not forget, was, so honey, what does this mean to you? Of course, it was a case of what does this mean for us? Because on our matrimonial bed, there had been question marks, right? So does cutting a girl actually dispossess her?
I mean, we can go on and on about this conversation, especially today being the International Day for Tolerance Against Female Genital Mutilation. But that's a fine place to leave it for now. Thank you for the work you're doing. And of course, happy birthday. Your work is quite significant. A survivor and anti-FGM advocate.
It's my FGM birthday, by the way. Thank you.
Melanie Ishala, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Right.